Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of the Seercast. I'm ePiKnight, and with me today is Runic Lord.
Hello, Barbasalt is awesome, and Cactus is a demon.
Please.
Cactus is a demon.
Cactus.
Nuts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fangride.
I don't have anything witty to say.
Kitten.
Hi.
Siroki.
I'm standing here in Death's office with Frank. Breaking news, he does not have voiceover, even though it's missing presumed Death content.
Rip.
Lime?
I did have something witty to say, but I forgot it.
Well done. And we have Habblet, Thorlah, and Walter in the chat. So today we're going to be talking about the stuff after the request release in August, as well as the September BTS. So we'll be talking about some Birthright of the Dwarves post-quest dialogue, a second or third or 18th rework of Demon Slayer, Soul Reaper, Barbarian Assault, and then the September BTS. So we'll go ahead and get started with the Birthright of the Dwarves post-quest dialogue. This is only a year and, 6 months late? 18 months late?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Give or take.
Yeah, so you can...
It has been released in time for John A's leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So only
pretty
the
sure
font
that was-
that counts.
Rip John A. But yeah. So we finally get the Birthright post-quest dialogue. You can restore the memory of the drunken dwarf. He recalls everything, and then drinks his memory away again.
That's only if you,
That's the perfect ending.
only if you get him as the king.
Yeah, it's only as if you get him as a king, but yeah.
I mean, who didn't give kingship?
I definitely did not give him kingship.
I absolutely didn't.
What is wrong
I
with
think
you guys?
I think Gina's the only one that did.
Instead of the drunken dwarf, you restore Veldeben's memory, and he remembers his girlfriend that got turned into a chaos dwarf that we've forgotten. It's actually a very heart-wrenching scene.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly what I wanted from the
On
dialogue.
On a similar note, Grunge, the ogre from Gutanoth, who was the one who wiped everyone's memory, apparently he also wiped his own memory in turn to forget all the memories of what happened.
That's a good one.
Yes, he did.
A lot of people actually, or at least a few people I've talked to, have said they decided not to use the memory wand on him because they wanted to leave him at peace. Luckily, I'm here, and I found out it doesn't work.
Luckily, I'm here. I found it doesn't work. Yeah, pretty much.
Also, just
I'm
to,
here. You chose the wrong option.
Go on,
just
kid.
to butt in, apparently you can get the drunken dwarf dialogue in his house, and we lore failed already.
Yeah, we already lore failed. And Mark,
Walter kindly told us.
we need a lore fail picture where we
Yeah.
we have already
Yeah,
lore
just like-
failed.
Just have
Why do I get the feeling?
I'll make a Lorefell picture.
Oh dear.
have a number and a sound effect that comes up. Just ding, dong, ding,
Just
two,
like a
ding.
little lore fail tally in the corner, or like a 15 minutes since last lore fail.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
Close
could
to the
do
zero.
that. I don't think if I'm good at video. I don't think I'm good enough at video editing for that. But
No, you're not good at
Here's-
Vindy.
15 minutes since last accidental stutter.
I heard the Vindy in there anyway.
I was failing at speaking. I'm sorry. But yeah.
So far, last 3 minutes we have failed at speaking. Failed.
I've already learned from my video making experience, I have learned that I cannot into reading. So it's okay. At least not allowed. The librarian largely says what John A. told us about the Azdoran document in the forums. It's nice to get that into the game. Santiri learned how to create dragon battle staves by examining Jeff's. The dragon battle staff dates back to the very early days of Keldagrim. Oh my god.
You're not
Again.
doing too well.
Before the Age of Kings. The Dragon Warhammer is also somehow made by a dwarf. These are the only dragon items known not to be made by the Dragonkin, and it is unknown if they're actually true dragon items or just dragon items in the style of WoW.
Instead of lore failing, you're reading failing.
I'm read failing so bad. But
Kids,
yeah.
This is why you don't drop out of school.
Wow. The sad thing is I just started grad school.
Shots have been fired.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he just started grad school, so...
No.
Fudge.
I've also
It's
played
okay.
far too much Hearthstone the
I
last
think
few
you may have
days.
faked some paperwork along
It's
the
okay,
way.
it's okay, it's okay.
Anyways,
Oh my God.
moving on. The Red Axe Cat, which is apparently Hraidmar's
King
cat.
Tittles the... Wait. If I remember this correctly, it's King Tittles the 14th.
I'm
Aw.
looking
Right?
for it.
King
Yes,
of
there
all.
it is. He says, "Insolent dwarves, how dare they deny me of my heritage? I am King Tittles the 14th, rightful king of all cats." And he has some silly dialogue as well.
Aww.
I spoke to him, and my first thought was, so how do I squish this guy?
No!
That's terrible.
Don't do that.
Come on.
Do it.
Oh,
Oh,
please.
and read the dragon items. I have a feeling we're going to discover that the dwarves have also tunneled into the back of the dragon.
No.
Yeah, just like the altar, you know.
Interesting.
Kind of
They
a
found
kind
the
of a
back
thing they
door.
had going for them.
They do
Oh,
they
there's
do
a hard way
enjoy
in. This thing is
tunneling.
locked. Yeah, let's just tunnel in through the back.
It's okay. Dwarves are now apparently moles.
Yes.
Anyways,
They have defeated the Molgerot.
oh my god.
No, let's not talk about that.
Oh.
And that's
That thing was stupid from the beginning.
Oh my god.
It kind of,
Well, we've gotten off to a good start here. Pretty Flower apparently trusts Veldaban, but doesn't trust the companies.
Oh, do you remember the face roll dialogue?
what was
Dwarves
the-
use this silly thing called tactics, and trolls just fight.
Wait, what?
There was this dialogue that Pretty Flower gave when he was talking about the battle.
Pretty Flower is the leader of the Barrender trolls.
He is? Oh, yeah, he is, isn't he?
I have a feeling Gordon's sitting there like, how the hell are you talking to flowers?
No, I know who Pretty Flower is. I just don't know the dialogue, so I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll find a picture.
Meanwhile, rummaging through desks.
Yes. I'll find a picture, and he goes into
Was
his
it a
desk
Polaroid?
and finds a picture that he's... God damn it, Lime.
Turns on his webcam, holds it up, tells somebody to take a screenshot, and
Can we take the
I wouldn't put it past him.
he
Anyway,
finds,
the Polaroid of it?
Yeah, he finds like a Polaroid selfie.
oh my
Yeah.
god.
Dear God.
this is Pretty Flower.
Alright, hang on. Let me...
No, I know who Pretty Flower is. Like, that's not the problem. I just don't know the dialogue itself.
I'm gonna screenshot the dialogue. Just wait for it.
Good, you should. And I'll put it up on...
5 hours later.
You can tell Durny, Durnu, and Milditnir about the about Birthright of the Dwarves, which is kind of nice.
Well, no, they just interrupt you.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You start to tell them, and then they tell you everything. That didn't happen. Like, for example, I don't have Veldaban dead, and they're like, I heard Veldaban died. I'm like, what? And then I realized what was going on.
Yeah, they just have 3 versions. I think they all 3 played 3 different versions of the quest.
Yeah. Yeah, really. What happened?
They each have a different person as king, and they have no idea what's going on.
Dear.
Yeah, that's
there
pretty much
can-
how it goes.
So,
I wonder how they distributed the the part where you either exile, kill, or leave them alone part.
yeah.
I wonder how theirs went.
Well, if you exiled them, Grunt is happy that you exiled him and loves where he is, and he's south of Yunel. Brent, on the other hand, is happy you spared him, but not happy about the exile. We mentioned Grunch already.
Lynch.
Veldaban isn't really sure how he resisted the transformation, but it pretty much sounds like he was just way too stubborn and wasn't willing to die if you weren't going to give him a heroic death.
Alright. This just in, I am in the Barondir caverns.
This just
And we're going
in.
live to Barrender.
And now we throw it
God.
over to Capn Liem in the Barondir Caverns.
Yes.
That links into what I'm gonna do for RuneFest.
Yes.
Preparation.
So
guys.
while we have a second here, while Lime is doing this, first of all, follow us on Twitter at Seercast. if you haven't already.
Well,
Second of all, we have 2 Seercasters who are going to RuneFest, so if you are going to RuneFest, look for Lime and Kitten there.
Yeah.
I'm sure they will have some
none of
way
the
of
rest of us
identifying that
is
they
there.
are with the Seercast. Something, we will force them to do something ridiculous. It's, you know.
Probably red Sharpie with the words Seercast on their foreheads.
Well, yeah. Pretty much
On their foreheads.
Yeah. Yeah. If you see a very short person who looks like she's 12 and doesn't belong there, yeah, that's me!
Yay!
If you see a guy wearing a lime as a necklace, that'd be me.
Do like a teardrop tattoo for every Seercast you've been in?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, then Lime won't have a face. Just have hair.
Oh yeah, then we'll get in trouble for wearing blackface.
Oh my
That'd be
god.
horrible.
Well, it would probably be blue face if it's tears, but, you know.
Well,
So how's that dialogue coming, Lime?
Oh my god.
I am totally scream shopping stall.
I'm pleased.
Anyways, we're gonna move on into, the Demon Slayer rework. Because, yeah, Mod Stew is great. So Mod Stew improved Demon Slayer once again to make it a lot more sense, make a lot more sense. Details of what he did were in a previous podcast. The lore book, which is new, and the post-quest dialogue, we have it's Trivium Demonum,
Daemonium.
Crossroads of Demons.
yeah, it's
Demonum.
Demonum,
Yeah, Daemonium.
which is basically Crossroads of Demons. It's written
How very Falchion.
written by Sarah Derp and Varrock, and that makes it interesting because we have intentional lore fails in the book. So it's a kind of a cool touch for them, for the lore peoples at Jagex to actually intentionally lore fail. Also, the largest city on Pandemonium is called Dis, and
This city was
Become our
built on
thing.
rock and
oh
roll.
my god. The
It begins.
and so it begins. Yeah, the puns will be
Also,
This will
there's the
be
dialogue.
glorious.
we found
There's the dialogue. I finally delivered.
the dialogue.
Unfortunately,
Yay.
the image sharing site that I used sucks, so the images are in 2, 1, 3 order.
You know you can just reorder them.
I can what?
You can just reorder them. There is an option to just reorder them.
Okay, so I'll go back and I'll read through this, and it says, Pretty Flower says it's not easy. I have to explain carefully to dwarves. You not kill these dwarves, they friends, but you kill those
Trolls.
dwarves, they bad. Very complicated, make brain hurt. But when we get used to it, it's fun. Each army worked to its own strengths.
No, 2, 3, 1. So the bottom one's second.
No,
Wait,
it's
what? No, no, no,
2-1-3.
bottom one's-
No, 2-1.
It's 2-1-3.
What?
Wow. We're on
You
a
like
roll
Lady
today.
Dwarf Colonel, but we get used to it.
Yeah. Anyways. But yeah, friendly dwarves run around, use something called tactics, whatever those are. Trolls go up to bad dwarves and hit them. And Pretty Flower likes the Lady Dwarf Colonel. She has tiny dwarf lungs, but she shout like troll. Thank you, Pretty Flower, for that dialogue.
That glorious.
Glorious
you.
dialogue.
But yes, back to what we were talking about with the Demon Slayer rework. We know that the largest city on Pandemonium is called Dis. It is ruled by a massive elder demon known as Krigar Tsutsaroth.
He's ruled by this demon called Grigar.
Oh my god.
But we have no idea if disinformation is true.
Oh my god. We could,
Yeah, dis and dat are gonna be like running jokes forever.
is that actually a thing?
No, I hope
No.
not. I hope it will
Before
not
it
be.
is.
We really hope
Knowing
that the,
Jagex, though,
city
it will be a
opposite
thing.
This is called Dat.
Yeah, dis, and then it's like sister city is dat.
Oh my god.
There's,
Or
there's,
like, or like
This is a
the
bad
biggest city on New Domina is that.
Lime says this is a bad pun. And I agree.
it is.
Am I the only one hoping for that when we finally go to Dis, the quest will be called A Tale of Two Cities?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, then, yeah.
But we have a tale of two cats.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Okay, Tale of Two Cities.
It'll be
Happy?
something stupid, like, what's that I see London, I see France crap? They'll be like, I see this, I see that, I see whatever.
We built this city.
We built this city on rock and roll. Anyways.
That's better.
Anyways, yeah. So
This is too many puns.
Okay, moving on.
moving on. See, this is
Yeah,
what
God
happens
help
when we have like random pun centric names thrown at us.
This is what happened.
Yes, it is. This is what happens.
We break a little bit, but for some
A
reason
little
we
bit.
seem to like this pun, because usually we're like, oh my god, shut up even.
No, that's
I
usually
like
me.
this pun.
This is the best pun.
It's just
Dude,
so
I just
easy to
used that
work
one.
with.
Yeah.
I know, right?
And it's not
God.
ridiculous, and it's kind of subtle. Kind
This
of.
is great.
Anyways. Obviously, Zidaroth is a title that can only be held by the strongest demon, but Grigar assumed Krill was dead because he had not been heard of for 2 ages, and took the title for himself. Relinor was given permission to interrogate Azakorax, the demon in the Wizard's Tower. He shared that the heart of Pandemonium is an eternal burning fire. From fire all demons are born, and into the fire they shall return. It's possible for Avernic demons to project a manifestation from into Gielinor from Pandemonium, where they construct a temporary form or possess a living host in order to claim a foothold. Killing the manifestation sends the demon's consciousness back to Pandemonium. Seeing as how Krill didn't die, it seems strange that Grigar didn't know that he was still alive. But
Well, this demon was frozen.
but how would he have known that he was still alive when he was frozen and wasn't heard of for several thousand years?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure about that one, but
Yeah, it's possible Krill took his entire body to Gielinor.
Well, I actually have a different theory. My theory is that Grigar knew that Krill was alive, but said that he wasn't in order to gain power.
that could be.
Yeah.
I watched him die.
Noobs.
Yep.
But I don't know. It kind of seems like I do think that maybe Krill took his actual body there, just because he was actually leading the army and he was doing shit like that. But I don't know.
Also, he's really stupid.
Like,
It makes
He is really stupid.
probably.
it makes sense. Actually, if Krill was frozen and he's putting his entire consciousness into this body, then perhaps he was in I don't know.
Yeah, because he stayed frozen for so long, it could make more sense that it was his real body.
But I mean, if it's like a projection of his consciousness and he was in that state, it doesn't mention what they look like when they project their consciousness on, their actual bodies, what they're actually doing on Infernus.
Or it could
They're
be
probably
that
sleeping on Infernus.
And who
like they
knows?
go into a
And who
coma.
knows if where their body on Infernus is at any given time?
Wait, I've got an idea. They could have taken it so that they thought that Krill died on Gielinor, and therefore he wasn't the strongest anymore.
That too. Actually. On a similar note, it also seems strange that Zeros would have to bother with the Portal of Lore. If at the very least Avernic demons can send their consciousness forward to Gielinor, but it's possible that doing this takes quite a while longer than Zeros cared to wait because he's impatient. It is also possible that the amount of victims or the setup was just too much for Zeros to care to deal with. And when I say he's impatient, isn't it written down that he was impatient at that point in his lifespan?
Work.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it
Something
was.
along
I'm pretty
those
sure he was, and that's what got him axed the first time.
It's very odd because it's like, for a lot of things, the idea of Avernic demons, or Avernic demons, like projecting their form, like their consciousness onto Gielinor, it makes sense for a lot of different lore parts, but then it just like, it doesn't make any sense at all if you like consider whole pictures and stuff like that.
Perhaps there's something within this idea that's not true.
Yeah,
Because parts of this book are supposed to be untrue.
Yeah.
right.
Or just potentially inaccurate, not necessarily outright lies, of course.
I mean,
Yeah, because the whole thing,
go on.
you'd figure that, considering how demons were kind of treated just with lore, you'd figure that they'd kind of actually take advantage of the whole soul thing, seeing between everything. You'd think that they'd do that for a lot worse stuff. Just for the sake of taking advantage of it, or I don't know, but
well, maybe,
yeah, I could see that as like one of the things that's not entirely true, but
it also could be, there could be some kind of, set of rules from the infernal plane where you just don't do that. Like, it's taboo to do something like that. And
yeah.
It could have been illegal for, Avernic to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, Hostilius did put a lot of, like, bureaucratic rules on the Avernic.
Yeah, there's a ton of them. That's, like, how that society is formed, it's a bureaucratic society.
Yeah, it could be a custom then, or just, like...
As a way to, like, dismember, to make sure that the Avernic demons don't get too powerful.
Yeah.
Unless there's something about the World Gate that we're not considering in all this, like, they needed the World Gate to project their bodies, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it gets even more complicated.
We digress.
Please be aware, this is a deep, deep speculation.
Yeah, this is a lot of speculation. But that's what we're good at.
Yeah,
We're just listing possibilities right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as Walter said, it would have taken about 20,000 sacrifices to get there, so there can always be that whole consideration.
So this is basically us saying, we've missed having lore to discuss, and we can't wait for Prif in September, so we actually have lore to talk about.
Yeah, we've been deprived, so now we're talking about demon soul travel.
Yes.
I mean, it's kind of like that magic discussion we had a while back.
Yeah, that was in our, when we did a 3-hour podcast or whatever. We had that 20-minute tangent on magic mechanics, but yeah. That was fun. Like, I think I might link that actually right here.
Yeah, do it. But yeah.
Okay. So what's next?
Meanwhile, Gordon writes stuff
I'm
down,
writing
and we're
stuff
just
down.
trying to fill in with our voice.
Yeah, anyways. Sorry.
Also, we didn't mention this, but Relinor, he appears to have failed the Legends quest.
He did book passage to Karamja to try and find one of the greater demons in the deep jungle, and he probably died. But if he is alive, they want to use him again.
If he is alive, then he's going to be in the
If he
Legends
isn't
quest.
alive, then he's not alive.
Then we could just call him a noob.
Case closed.
Yeah, I know. This is actually what the thread says. If they want to use him again, he is alive. If not, he is dead. So it's either he is alive or he is dead. Thank you.
From next Spirit Realm, anybody?
No, I think I know where he is. Hang on, let me find this.
Oh dear.
Is it technically like dead, presumed missing or something? I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh my god.
I think I know where this guy is, actually.
Okay, and Sir Pryston recognizes the Silver Light or the Dark Light and has dialogue about it. Apparently the three spirits didn't really like him despite it belonging to one of his ancestors. He is tasked to battle a 9-headed serpent, journey into the abyss to claim the candelabrum of invocation, and undergo a medical examination that he refuses to comment on.
As you can see in this image, there is a second person at the very bottom of the image. I have reason to believe that's relevant.
Oh, it could be. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Southern tip.
No, I know exactly where that is, because there's a clue scroll
skeleton
thing right next to it.
I was just there for the clue scroll yesterday. I'm like, wait a moment.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That could be it. That's
That could
interesting.
be it.
What time?
Probably the Umli birds made a human rap.
Oh my god. Anyways, we're gonna move on to the Soul Reaper.
The Rage Reaper.
I will let you guys talk about Death's office right quick.
My favorite update of the month, actually.
Oh.
I really love it.
Okay,
One quest later.
I think it's great. Honestly, it's really, it's enjoyable. But
when you get bosses that you want, but when the first boss you get and you have to reroll is like Araxor and then Virago and then Rise of the Six, it's not that good.
especially because
I've toggled off
without
group
what you
bosses.
rerolled. So I actually got 3 Araxors in a row before finally getting something I could do.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That hurts.
it's pretty good, like, overall, just some of the rewards, I can agree with what Walter told me a little while ago, that it's like, there's really only 2 that people who aren't super high level care about.
Apparently, Corp Beast is level 70
Yeah.
as a solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
The Corp task, well, if anybody doesn't know, the Soul Reaper bosses are grouped into, they're grouped into either group bosses or solo bosses, and Corp is apparently a task you can get at combat level 70, and it's a solo task.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not really right.
No.
I assume they
They,
recommend you wear the body helmet while you're fighting it?
Yeah, just listen to the game guide and just use, like, body gear and you're fine.
Use a body.
Yeah.
Nothing will possibly go wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Death never told you whose soul he's reaping.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
One red hourglass.
that is true.
In Escape Room boss, Soul Reaper, the bosses reap your soul. You have to die to the bosses.
No, that was.
I would be
that
good
was
at
what they
that.
were implying.
Can I do Scaper in that version of Reaper Soul?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds like my gameplay style now.
Just
Pretty
spam
good.
die to everything.
Pretty much.
Ow. But yeah, during Missing Presumed Death, Frank fills in for Death, and Frank is from the DeathCon 2 holiday event.
Good to see him back.
Yep, we
No
mentioned
one was asking for it.
we
but
mentioned him earlier.
back.
Well, Siroki mentioned him earlier. Perhaps Frank is one of the people that acts as a backup that Laren spoke of. All hail King Itchy.
So this gives lore to Death's clan. His clan is all his little helpers.
Yep.
Or has like a lot busier than you would think.
Mm-hmm.
And like Death's house is actually his POH.
Also, Death
So I'm guessing he's threatened the construction agents to move his house to Draenor.
Oh my god.
He's like, move it to Draenor, I will kill you.
Oh dear God.
Yeah, and it's just a random little hole in the ground, you know.
It's not as random as you might think.
Uh-oh.
For the past group of holiday events, different parts of Death's Mansion have all been accessible via portals all around that zone. So
But it just looks funny as like a little purple thing on the floor.
they were more exciting portals, but I kind of like the continuity of every time we go to Death's house, the portal is somewhere in the Draenor area.
That's good.
Spooky,
It is.
scary.
That continuity is subtle and wouldn't be caught on by anybody but us.
Yeah, because it's
But now that
Like, literally, somebody said something about, the Kitten said portal, and I'm like, wait a minute. Every time we've gone to Death, it's been either north of Fort Sarum or...
Yeah, it's
Or in a
interesting.
submarine.
It's interesting, but my criticism is the appearance of the portal because it's just a little spinny thing on the ground. I still love those, like, old pest control portals. Like a nice convenient place with trees around it, but it doesn't matter.
Rip. But yeah,
Rip my preferences.
Death has a note on his desk which is intended as a reference, but it doesn't.
It's the sample text.
But it says sample text.
Ipsum.
This was a missed opportunity to include actual lore. Death could have been writing a letter to Iclaren, or it could have been a letter from Guthix shortly after he ended the God Wars. But they went with sample text. Thanks.
Yay.
Even just like a simple
Thanks, ninjas.
you.
Stop reading my note.
Or at least make it like an actual Death Note reference.
Or that.
Yeah.
Be funny.
It should just have your player's name.
Just make of that what you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
He has an outfit for sale in the office, I guess. And his World Wakes and Missing Presumed Death outfit is also on a stand in the office. He has a collection of hourglasses. Most are green, but one is red with all the sand in the bottom to signify that somebody has died. Rip.
GG.
He doesn't have any dialogue to reference World Wakes or Missing Presumed Death. He apparently doesn't have much patience. He comes off more as a grump than the fellow Guardian of Gothic's friend that he is.
Yeah, the death who's doing this doesn't seem like the death we know.
Yeah, it really
exactly.
doesn't. I think, did Walter mention it? Oh yeah, he did. It's later in the paragraph. It could really use a dialogue update to be more friendly and more casual after World Wakes and Missing Presumed Death. Like, I can agree with, if we've never done one of those two quests, that we're just some brat that thinks we're the shit, and we go in and we're like telling him to give us tasks to go and kill.
Telling him to reroll.
Yeah, telling him to reroll Araxi every 5 times a day. But yeah.
Yeah.
Frank, although, is very nice.
Really?
Yeah, I got pictures of all the dialogues on my push. I can bring up a few.
Frank deserves a raise.
Frank deserves a raise.
Yeah.
He gets to rank up in the clan chat.
Rank up Frank or Riot. Anyways.
Yes.
So, that mentions the stuff in the physical office. We talked a lot about the tasks last time, so we'll just go over them very briefly. This is the one that requires Comp Cape owners to kill everything, so QQ Walter and Kitten.
Ooh. It's okay.
Doesn't it also take into account previously kills you've made in the past?
Some of them.
Sort of.
Well, there was a pre-release that they talked about in the thread for Boss Slayer, and that was when it actually started tracking stuff. So, well, also, that was a nice part, which I think I mentioned before in the last podcast. The lore books for God Wars Dungeon actually counted for something.
They do count.
Yay! And,
and I don't have the next book, so I will leave it at that.
Yeah, the kind of the weird one was that if you did Temple at Centisten and got the Barrows icon, for Boss Slayer you did not have to kill the Barrows brothers. So that was kind of interesting.
That's interesting, not like they're difficult to kill, but yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
Didn't want to waste your time.
It's nice.
Yeah. But yeah, so, as I mentioned earlier, there are two groups, solo and group tasks. The group bosses are Nex, Calphite King, Virago, and Rise of the Six. Note that Corp is not on that list. You can reroll tasks.
Corp is arguably harder to solo than Nex.
Yeah. You can reroll tasks up to 5 times a day. First reroll is free. After that, you start losing your Soul Slayer points.
Down to 0.
Yeah. Slayer helmets don't work with Soul Reaper for balancing reasons. Hard mode tasks give more points, but all kills must be done in hard mode. You can actually get the same task back to back. We mentioned that earlier. You can get, in theory, 6 Araxi rolls in a row. And if that happens, then my god, your luck sucks.
If that happens, you deserve to get, like, Zerite bows from, what are they called?
From the Nihils?
Yeah, from the Nihils.
Yeah.
Mentioning group bosses as well, if you have them enabled, you automatically get a 15%, I believe it is, boost to the number of Death Slayer, Boss Slayer points you get, regardless of if it's a group boss or not. So, they're worth having on if you want more points, but you may have to reroll them.
Yeah, just reroll a lot. It's fine.
But yeah, so...
Silence.
Yeah, sorry, I had to cough. But yeah, so we have Araxi, Virago, and Rise of the Six becoming Soul Slayer tasks at 120. However, 120 is rather low for those 3, which most teams require maxed levels. So
I really wish you check if you had level 90 equipment on you or something before giving you those. Especially your Axel. Your Axel.
Yeah. And
Because
also,
I'm level 136 and I can't touch your Axel.
and also it's worth mentioning that Araxor is between 3 and 5 kills on daily content, so only a very small percentage of all players will ever be able to do the task, because it gets harder after every time you kill him.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that might need
apparently
some...
However,
the
it doesn't get that much. Araxor doesn't get that much harder until you've killed like 4.
Still, still though,
Well, have,
it's hard the first time.
Runic, please, have you killed him?
No.
And there we have it.
Just looking at numbers, trust me.
Well,
Please.
once you start spamming him successfully, then we can think about not just looking
Can
at
anyone
numbers.
spam him successfully?
Probably.
If you can beat him once, the difficulty increase is marginal enough that you should be able to do it.
Yeah. It's marginal enough, but it's still there, and that's...
Yeah.
I wonder,
It entirely depends
maybe
on how
they should
successful-
make it, if you get the Soul Slayer task, it doesn't get more difficult until after you're done with it, or something like that. I don't know.
No, I think you should only get a Raxor if you're level 138, to be honest.
Or just make it that.
He is the hardest solo boss. I think. Arguably the hardest boss over.
Yeah, perhaps killing all 7 brothers, I'm assuming Barrow's brothers, could get
For Barrows?
more stuff. Yep.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's Barrows amulets, so you don't even actually have to play with. In fact, if you wanted to, with Boss Slayer, you could just use 7 amulets for each run and never have to actually kill the
That's
villain.
not possible.
Is it not?
You're limited to 3 per run.
I just always pop one on Acrosay. I've had Barrows tasks for the past 3 days. So I just pop an amulet on Acrosay and keep going.
Also, there's a couple bosses that are super low level, that are assigned at low levels, like Dag Kings are assigned at level 70, Caliphite Queen is assigned at level 60, and
Dag King's at that level is a little surprising. I went there today and I'm still getting ouched.
Yeah.
I only went one shot. Thinking
Yeah,
there
if
was-
you're fighting all 3 at once, you get really ouched.
Yeah. I was under the assumption the arena was actually big enough that you could actually fight them individually. No,
it's not.
No, it's just a space.
Hi, I'm gonna sit here and we're all gonna wail on you. It's gonna be great.
it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
The easiest way if you're trying to get, and you only want to just mage the one, is you go on like World 2 where someone's like always there. You get into the corner, then you lobby.
See, I was trying to range.
Don't do that.
No, don't do
Especially-
it.
Range is with us.
Just don't do that, period.
Fair enough.
But yeah. So that's
All right.
Oh, the God Wars dungeon generals require level 80, and since you get 10 to 15 at a time, that's a lot of trips for lower levels and is impractical to do solo. Basically, what it sounds like, and what it is that solo bosses aren't actually solo if you're not 130 plus.
Yeah,
Exactly.
pretty much.
But
This update seems very, very skewed towards high level and max.
and that's
It
pretty
is.
much what it is. But they want to keep the impression, I guess, that it's there for
With
low
mole
levels.
on there, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like getting mole.
So the
Hard mode
Oh,
mole,
God.
2 OP, and normal mode mole is a joke.
Dag, please.
Dag, please. But yeah, the rewards, you get Reaper points for each task, you get bonuses for completing multiples of 10 and probably multiples of 50, just like normal Slayer tasks. Most rewards can be bought with either, but not all can be. You can get aura refreshes, you can get...
One thing I found very interesting about them introducing aura refreshes on this is that we're getting them from the Rune Goldberg machine as well.
Oh yeah, we are, aren't
Yeah,
we?
it's like a new focus on auras.
Because they realize
Yeah.
people don't use them, except for bonus XP? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, my my aura reminded me that I had all these other auras, and then I opened up Solomon's to try and like look at what auras I didn't have, and I had a moment of, oh my god, there's so few auras I don't have yet.
Yeah.
Like, you never realize how many you have until you look in your bank tab and realize it's taking up like 40 spots.
Yeah, I have like 8 or 9, and a couple of them are like tier 4. But yeah.
Like, I was going through them, and I'm like, oh my god, I can buy like half the tier 5s right now if I had the points.
Yeah.
I never even realized I've upgraded them so
Yeah. Death Steal can be bought for 50 Reaper points or 500 Slayer points, and this reduces the degradation of armor and weapons by 50% on your next death. 1 death.
Yeah, so basically assuming that you never die.
Yeah. You can buy Rainbow Loot Beams for 75 Reaper points or 750 Slayer points, which is nice.
Which I just bought now because I felt like it.
Yay.
Yay!
You can,
Yay.
oh yeah, for 250 Reaper points, I'm assuming not Slayer points, you can reduce the cost of boss instancing permanently by 25%, which is...
Yeah, that's absolutely Reaper points only.
Yeah. It's probably the best reward, but Walter mentions in the thread, and I think we mentioned last time, that we worry about, that they will base future instance costs around the assumption that people have this reward. So,
I will add, though, a couple of those Hydrix, the higher level ones, are pretty good.
We mentioned the titles last time. The outfit requires you to get 50 kills on each boss for the full thing. The final boss title requires you to kill every boss at least 100 times. So, have fun with that, Walter.
No thanks.
Oh, also, I have to go, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
So the rest of the podcast.
Yay.
The incomplete Hydrix stuff is complicated and is generally obscenely expensive. So, I don't exactly know if we should even really mention much about this stuff.
Me, I honestly don't understand it, but pretty much as far as the numbers went from what Walter showed me, it's pretty much useless unless you really have money and time to waste on getting an amulet that really doesn't help.
Oh yeah, we have to mention the bolts.
Oh yeah, those, apparently they never, like, pretty much it translates to, you are never ever ever going to get them to ever do what they're supposed to do, because I think it's another thing where it only works on auto attacks. And even then there's like a...
But yeah, the Ascendry bolts are bolts that can be made from the incomplete Hydrix gem. They would have to activate on abilities, since it'd be useless in any mode that uses auto attacks. The bolts trigger Death Mark buff when you hit a target. The buff lasts for 15 seconds and can be reapplied before the time expires. While a target has a Death Mark buff, all hits against that target generate 1 adrenaline in addition to anything they might normally generate. However, they are insanely expensive. Each gem gives you 36 bolts. Yes, 36. Onyx bolts are already considered to be largely worthless due to how much they cost, and these bolts use an onyx and the Hydrix. It's just, yeah.
Pretty much it's like, don't use them.
They alch for over 10k each, and thanks to the alch price of onyx, yeah.
It's good for hypotheticals, but it's not practical at all.
Like, if you're really, really dying to have, like, the so-called best bolts or something, like, to you, the best bolts in the game,
do they work in
don't
PvP?
waste your time. I don't think so. There was something, I think Walter mentioned something about Legacy, how they can't be used in Legacy or something. It was something really ridiculous. Oh yeah, and the leveling is actually wrong, because it's listed as something, but they only do, like, I can't remember what the actual numbers are, but they do less damage than
broad bolts, right?
It's pretty much, well, they do more, yeah, they do tier 90, but they're listed as 94.
Gotcha.
I think that was a thing, because it's something ridiculous like
Yeah,
that.
the way that Walter has it worded in the thread is rather confusing, to say the least.
Yeah, but this is what I mean by, like, when I mentioned before the podcast, like, this is the update where people just forgot how to numbers in an efficient way. So pretty much, yeah, the bolts, no. I didn't even know they existed until Walter started ranting about them. So
yeah, that's how it works.
That's how non-hype they were, and for good reason.
I mean, it's good. It sounds good if you're trying to break a few records. Like if you're trying to be the first guy to solo some weird thing.
It sounds like they'd be good for PvP, but like if they can't even be used for that, then because PvP was always one of those, like, if you always use the tippy top of the line, whatever, so you can eke out that extra tiny bit of damage, because it's the slightest advantage. But if they aren't even useful for that, then like what would they be useful for?
Yeah, it's something weird. Since Legacy doesn't have adrenaline, they can't be used. It's something. It's as ridiculous as, like, don't use them because I don't understand what I'm talking about anymore.
So you're basically paying 400 Reaper points for 36 bolts.
Yeah.
Which doesn't get you very far. Like, not so much.
Yeah. It's the sort of thing where you look at, like, the bolts you can use that are decent against the Ascended. I can't remember what they're called. But, like, those are with bronze bolts.
Oh, fragment bolts. Yeah, I love those
fragments
things.
that you get everywhere if you're killing anything in the dungeons. Yeah, like, you look at those, they're like, oh, those are so easy to get. And then it's like, oh yeah, use an Onyx and get 36.
And they're also, those are also really good because they speed up auto attacks and they make the auto attacks stronger. They have a floor, a damage floor that's really quite high. So they're really consistent. They hit very fast and very hard. So, yeah. But anyways, I think that covers everything we wanted to. Soul Reaper, I don't think we ranted too much about it. It's like, really, the rewards they're nice, but they're a little bit lacking. Just because a lot of it's just so expensive, and it's not
worthwhile.
It's not worth it for anybody who doesn't have max cash stack.
Yeah, it's a little. I understand that there is, like, we kind of needed more, like, quote unquote
super high
endgame
end
things. Yeah, but it's getting to the point where it's like, okay, that's a little too far. Please stop.
Yeah, or don't
do
make
that.
it required for comp cape. Make it trim or something like that. Yeah. But we've gone down that road in previous podcasts. We shouldn't do that again.
Yeah, but I will say, however, I am very happy that since I just saw the rewards when we started talking about rewards, that you can use your own Slayer points that you already have for some of the, like, more minor rewards. I think it's like the Bonfire Boost and the Rainbow Loot Beam for sure you can use points on, instead of having to go through all the Soul Reaper stuff.
Yeah, I have a giant pile of those points that I'm probably gonna dump into that at some point. But
yeah, so it's not the worst update ever.
No.
There have been very horrible updates in the past, but it's like, it could use a little tiny bit of, like,
a little bit of tweaking.
Yeah, just a little bit of better rewards and not making that stupid letter say lorem ipsum blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Speaking of tweaking, the Barbarian Assault was also reworked quite a bit. A lot of the roles have been slightly altered. We don't really have time to go through everything for this, so we're going to mention a couple things. Wave 10 is too easy since the Queen doesn't do very much damage.
Yeah. The Queen needs a buff.
Yeah, Queen needs a buff. Being able to use normal magic and lunars is just as strange as not being able to use ancients. I'm not exactly sure what scaling we're mentioning. I believe Kitten does.
I can clarify. Well, basically, with the magic thing especially, it gives you an error message saying that you don't have enough runes, even though you do. But it's the sort of thing where it's like, you can't do it because Gothics.
Well, that's...
But,
yeah.
It makes sense, but then the error message that you get for it does not make sense. But the scaling, apparently for attacker, all the penance are really scaled towards like level 80 weapons, or really like, just to be slightly generous, even though I'm probably wrong, like 70-ish and up. Just because, well, it's weird because they said that the whole minigame is really designed around people in like 40, 50, 60 range.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit funky to attack, and then of course with the queen that really doesn't do a whole lot, like you're pretty much more prone to dying before anything happens. So.
Yeah. There's that, there's a lack of a medic ability. Yeah. The attacker arguably takes too long to complete the job enough in normal mode.
Which is ironic because previously it was way too fast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, before, I think when we played it, because I needed the music track, we were sitting there for like 5 whole extra minutes because everything else, Walter and I had already killed everything. We're just waiting for everything else to die.
Yeah, sounds about right. Blue eggs are there for points and nothing else.
Just like last time.
Yeah. No, were those used to be?
No, those were completely useless.
Like, blue eggs were like they were a stun, right?
Oh, they were useless, and now they're still useless. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, there's still nothing
well
to
done.
do with those.
While Defender is still 10 times better, runners will still randomly ignore food. And so aside from that, those minor changes, which are still interesting, they updated it and they added a hard mode, and I quote this from the thread, as expected, hard mode is hard. Thank you, Walter. There are more penance on a given wave, everything does more damage, the damage is intentionally overpowered, and they have a lot more health. Defenders can't use the trap trick to kill a whole bunch of runners at once. Healers heal far more than they do in normal mode. Because the collector wasn't useless enough as it was, randomly the cannon will jam. And
yeah.
The Penance King is a huge threat to Gielinor and serves at the end of hard mode. You apparently can't use magic. I think this is what we were mentioning before, because you'll get error messages that you don't have enough runes.
Yeah.
Not sure if the Polypore Staff or Runic Staves would work, but the Penance King does damage based on percent damage based with his melee attacks, depending on how late into the fight it gets. It starts at 25%. He also creates King Spawn, which are powerful minions with 250 HP. They explode and deal a lot of damage to anything in a 4x4 range. The King also has an Earthquake attack that he only uses while being flamethrowed. And flamethrowed? Is that even a word?
Yep.
I don't think it's a word.
It
Walter, you're making up words. That's my
like
job.
It's like that picture where it's like, I have a Flammenwerfer. It werfs Flammen. it throws fire. Cool.
Yes.
But yeah. It's now a word.
As he loses his other moves during that time, and people that don't move away will take rapid damage. Best setup for that final wave is a one-handed crossbow and a shield. Resonance is great.
Resonance best ability.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Apparently it still breaks Nomad, so that's cool.
Oh my god. Well, everything breaks Nomad at this point.
Yeah.
Once the Pennant King has been fed, they throw up an item. This item differs depending on your roll, but each roll will get an item every time. Defenders get fuel sacks, attackers get scrap metal, collectors get broken helms.
Helmet?
Lime.
Yep, so it's Lime's favorite update confirmed.
It is Lime's favorite update. So where are you in getting 99 smithing by now?
I am still at 96. I am 63% of the way to 99.
Slow poke.
And I am broke.
Yep, there you go. Lime is broke.
Siroki gave me the medal that I'm currently using.
Hugga?
Yeah, thanks, Siroki.
But yeah, the healers get rusty buckets, and yeah.
So it's kind of like fishing trawler where you can actually get like boots.
Fishing trawler.
Fishing
fishing troller. Yeah, now it's just like
It is the fishing troller.
homage. Yes.
Simply getting the flamethrower is not enough for the Penance King. Is far too strong to be stopped by such silly things. The interface has changed. The scrolls appear at the top of your screen, and from left to right, your team has to click on their scroll in the Barb Assault interface, and that then the Penance King is vulnerable and open for attack, etc., etc. He has 3.141592 million HP, so he's clearly a fan of pie.
Yes. So every time it's Pie Day, go try killing the Penance King.
Oh, so the Penance King gets to have pie, but we're not allowed to cast Bake Pie out of the Lunar Spellbook. Racism.
We're allowed to. I just don't think it's.
I don't think it's entirely relevant to the situation.
I don't think so either.
No, just feed him more summer pies.
Oh my god.
Did you say I think he's pious?
No.
Oh, I thought I heard that. Anyways.
I don't know. I don't remember what I
wish I
said,
could
but it
tell.
was probably as dumb as that.
My ears. Anyways.
Yes.
So the rewards were changed. There's still a bunch of bonus XP. Apparently you could get 400 to 500,000 bonus agility XP per hour. That sounds balanced.
Yep.
It's as balanced as it was pre-update.
That sounds completely balanced.
Well, considering now, like, before...
You could leech it, essentially.
Well, like, early Barbarian Assault, the prismatics didn't exist. So... Yeah. Balanced. Anyway.
Yeah, that's what it was pre, now it's much less. Much less.
Oh, it's apparently it's bad now.
Yeah. Wave tickets are now tradable, so there's now a market for Wave 10 tickets.
Yeah.
There's a few... Oh, Penance Horns are fully cosmetic. Penance Tridents aren't very useful.
When have they ever been?
Yeah, Penance Armor has received a graphical update and slight stat improvement. There's a bunch of other kind of passive abilities with the insignias. Collector's Insignia is probably the only one really worth noting, because it's basically a ring of wealth that sits in your pocket, which is great. It also gives 5% boost to Agility Lap bonus XP, 5% bonus to fire making when using pyre ships, since people do that for XP, and 5% chance for a mining rock not to be consumed when successfully struck.
Which is actually a pretty good idea, and I wish it wasn't used for this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's fine, whatever.
It helps if, like, if world hopping and mining rune is still a thing, then mining runite, then that's pretty good.
Runite is actually really expensive. I only know this because I once tried to use Runite.
Yeah, that was a terrible idea. And yeah, it's really expensive.
It's like 10k.
Yeah, because
like 15.
the high alch price for rune plate legs is 30k. And that requires 3 rune bars. So yeah, it can never drop below about 10k.
We now have an echo.
Oh dear God.
Yes, we are recording.
Yes, we are recording, Geena. Please turn off your speakers or something.
Let me see what... Yeah, Gina's here.
A wild Geena just appeared.
Gina has appeared.
And an echo has also appeared. Hold on.
I can only assume the echo...
I don't know why
is
I'm
because
actually...
of Shadow Realm.
Sure.
That's not possible, because that would imply Geena can into Shadow Realm.
No, that does not imply anything of the sort. Anyways, so... That stuff aside, did I miss anything, Walter, before I move on?
We didn't talk about the lore.
I know, I'm getting to the lore. Anything... Did I miss anything that wasn't lore?
Nothing ins,
Not really,
yes.
just lol bad rewards in general. Yeah, we mentioned that. Okay.
Yeah, well, one more thing. Nothing inside the waiting rooms got graphically updated.
Rip.
Which is a shame.
Yeah, which is boo, because that could have looked really awesome, but it didn't.
Yeah.
So boo.
Yeah. So boo.
Boo you.
Okay,
Anyway.
but yeah, so, we also had the account of Issa Fell's daughter. That was a lore book that was
It is
achieved or gotten with, what is it, a total of 50 points?
Yeah.
50 points in any category, I believe.
Yep. Issa became aware of a great inhuman thing, and
Named
it was basically,
Cacus.
actually, we'll just condense this. You explain it to me like you did before the podcast. Somebody explained.
That was Fang.
God
Oh.
damn it. I think, what he mentioned was...
I'll sub in.
Go.
So, Issa is projecting herself into the abyss, I believe.
In
And
dreams.
she sees like this great, Chthonian demon named Cacus or Cacus or
Cactus. Just Cactus.
Cactus. So she sees like this Chthonian demon.
Named
Who-
Cactus.
And she, through all of her visions, she pieces together the Chthonian demon's history. It's a spawn of Hostilius, our big, literally big, benevolent, big malevolent being.
Lime, please. Okay, so here's what actually happened. So, this feminine girl, she starts having these really weird dreams about, this creature that seems to be from Infernus, and it goes through the life and times of the creature, who I guess we're calling Cactus. It goes through how Zaros, or a mysterious stranger, Zaros, ended up taking all the demons to Gielinor. It details how the legions of demons, Cactus being one of them, it details of how all the legions of demons, destroyed everything or whatever. And then it details how they were all cast back out because of Gothics. And so when Zamorak, came in and was, destroying all the Avernics, I got my
It was the
Chthonians.
Yeah. When Zamorak and the Avernics went to go destroy the Chthonians, because Cactus was a Chthonian, he ended up being, part of all that. And Hostilius was, apparently taken and
strung
Chopped
up
up.
between the worlds.
he's now in between Infernus and the Abyss. And apparently there's a theory now that the Abyss actually is the innards of Infernus, because a lot of the
Inners
demons,
of a Hostilius.
Hostilius.
of Hostilius.
Because of all those little abyssal leeches and all those little things kind of sound
Are
like
burrowing in it.
what they're talking about.
Sounds like the maggots going through, his body.
What was
Yep.
it? Where's the thread? Or not the thread, the, thing. Okay, here it is. I'm just reading this from the thread. When defeated and exiled, many of these subjects made their way to his bloated bulk and infested it, as Jack so loving put it, quote unquote, crawling over and inside the dead flesh like so many flies and maggots, end quote.
Ew.
Yeah. So it does
down.
have, but I mean, if you've gone to
Sounds
the
like
Abyss,
fun.
if you've done rune crafting in the Abyss, the stuff that's in the outer ring, it sounds very similar to that. And it's nice
Yeah.
and red, and I can absolutely see the
Yeah.
Abyss being Hostilius's corpse. And considering
Yeah.
that we know that he was gigantic beyond reason, yeah.
He was
Yeah.
he needed a diet.
Yeah, he...
So anyway,
Yeah.
the Cactus, he was, trying to figure out his way back
I love
into,
how we've just
Gielinor.
completely made sure his name is Cactus now.
There's going to
Yeah.
be a cactus on the screen while we talk about him.
I'm currently getting pictures in the Caridian Desert to Photoshop demon horns on it. Because that's fun.
I'm going to use that.
So Cactus, he still wants to get back into Gielinor, and he ends up, eating the soul of this Fremennik girl who's been, dreaming about him this entire time.
Nom, nom, nom.
Yeah, am
And
I the only
so-
one
Tough
that's,
luck for her.
am I the only one that's terrified by the fact that a Chthonian demon can consume your soul through a dream?
I was after reading this, I'm just like, wait, you what?
Yeah, basically.
Oh, and the best
And
part is
so-
Chthonian demons don't have god magic, meaning we're not immune.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Anyways,
Thankfully, I don't have a soul already. Fang has seen to that, so I'm perfectly fine.
yeah. But yes.
I would be an issue like 15 souls ago. But anyway, so the Fremenic girl, she tells her other Fremenic that she like everything that's happened, and they're like, nope, don't believe you, and they consider her moon touched, which we have no idea what that means. And so
she's a lunatic.
Probably she's just crazy.
Yeah, they think that she's crazy basically, and so they lock her up in a cavern. And then penance creatures just start spawning from her once she dies because the demons are using the cactus after eating her soul can now use her like
he uses her body as a portal.
Yep.
Which is
sounds fun.
A nice thought. But yeah, at least
obviously the gods are punishing us for using runes.
At least Issa knew that she was screwed and went and hid herself away in the caverns below the barbarian outpost, so that there would at least be a chance to stop Mr. Cactus. But yeah, so that's the lore.
Wait! Mr. Cactus, can we just put a top hat on that cactus?
Can we also put a penguin beside the cactus?
Yes. This can all be in the picture.
Poor kid. Give me a before version and an after penguin and top hat version, if you can.
Well, wait. Use the penguin costume for the cactus. Can't they dress up like a cactus?
Oh yeah.
Yes, they can.
The penguin cactus costume.
Yeah, the penguin. Yeah, when they're wandering around in the desert, they're cacti.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the lore.
That was us stumbling through the lore.
Yeah, and that was as we get distracted from the lore. But yeah, so that's the lore there, and it's an interesting look at the way that Cactus devours people's souls.
It's an interesting look.
This is a warning. Stay away from the desert.
I
don't have personal experience with this.
Oh my god.
It's a bad place.
Yes it is. It's a terrible place.
No, it isn't. I like the desert.
There was a Grithnar too. You can't help but notice a similarity, a coincidence. Or something.
True.
But yeah.
And Thamron and the guy who killed Ulick.
Anyways, unless there's something else we want to mention about Barb Assault or the lore, is there? Good, there isn't. We're gonna move on into September BTS. Yes, Prif is coming out. We know. We've spammed about it nonstop for probably 6 months now. I think it's worth saying, if you want to hear our spam about it, either listen to the next podcast or go back and listen to something previous. You should go back and listen to them again anyway, but so you can hear us talk about nonsense and lore fail. But
you can think. You can hear us talk about nonsense 6 months ago, so you can listen to us talk about nonsense now.
Yes, because that makes sense. But yeah, so Prif is coming out, and we know that, but we have already said pretty much everything we want to say about it. So yeah.
For now.
There's also a grouping system coming out in September, which should have been there for the Barb Assault rework.
Yeah.
I guess it got done. I guess Barb Assault got done early.
Yeah. It's a grouping system for bosses, dungeoneering, and mini games. You'll be able to be specific in who you want in your group. So like non-combat stealing creation, medium warp floors, etc. And so that's a thing. And then probably the next most interesting thing to Prif in the BTS is going to be the Rune Goldberg machine and rune improvements. So we voted a while back to make runes more valuable. And the Rune Goldberg machine is intended to do just that. You'll be able to turn runes into sticky goo called Viswax.
Obviously not
Viswax? V-wax?
It's called Vis.
Viswax?
Incoming puns. The wax will extend the duration of most auras by either 50 or 100%, reroll daily challenges, double the duration and reward of daily challenges. Wait, that means I can re-roll agility challenge, the Dorgashun agility challenges.
Yes.
Oh my god, I might actually want to do this.
This will be interesting for those people who are maxed and going for comp because they'll be able to re-roll dungeon challenges, maybe?
No,
But if they're
you-
maxed and going
everyone-
for comp, all you get is dungeoneering challenges.
Yeah, everyone
Oh,
wants 200 mil dungeoneering XP.
But yeah, anyways, you'll need 50 rune crafting to do this, and it will be located in the rune crafting guild. But the more important thing, probably, is that there are some minor changes, like clicking on a rune crafting altar will use all of the essence in your inventory, familiar, and pouches in one click. Ah, yes.
Yes!
I can't tell you how much that would have been good when I've spammed to 99 rune crafting. At least,
I can hear you
although to be
choking up.
fair, at least at that, wait. Never mind, they hadn't even changed it so that the click had, oh my god. They hadn't even changed it so that it was always left click for the pouches at that point.
Derp.
Yeah, so it was
Yeah.
pretty ridiculous back then.
That was, yeah. How did I do that? Abyssal familiars will last longer and carry more essence, thank god. It never made much sense to me that the Abyssal Titan was identical in every way to the Abyssal, what is it, the Lurker?
You know,
And yet it
I-
lasted less time, but required 30 levels higher summoning. I never understood that.
I actually don't understand what you're talking about because Rune Essence is stackable in the Rune Span, Gordon.
We're not talking about Runespan. Derp.
Siroki, you just failed.
That was a fail troll to the max. Anyways, and more than 200 monsters will have their drop tables reworked to give fewer runes. And Walter says, hopefully with something in their place, question mark. What, you want 1k coins at a time?
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
I mean, I'll take it.
But yeah,
I
like,
need this.
people bugging them about making runes more valuable. I don't think this is what they had in mind, but I'm perfectly good with this. Cause I've rune crafted for months. And yeah.
I don't think the rewards will be from what they look like, I don't think they're enough to take a lot of runes out of the game.
I think that
I don't think enough people will use it.
Over
I think the
time,
drop
though.
tables will be reworked. That's the big one. That's right there is going to take out a ton of runes from the game.
Well, it's not going to take out any runes. It's just going to, stem the flow of them into the
Well,
game.
that's what I mean. But that in effect takes them out of the game. And then there's also the straight way of taking them out with the Rune Goldberg machine.
I meant more the Goldberg than the drop rework. The Goldberg, I don't know how much that'll help. The drop rework will help more, I believe.
I think it's the idea is that both of them in conjunction will make things more valuable.
I think,
Yeah, hopefully.
I think what will really help is if everyone just followed Mod Timbo's advice and dropped all of their fire runes.
I would rather not drop my 20k fire runes. Okay, thanks. But yeah. I've got probably 10k of the other runes, 15k air runes, and 20k fire runes, like the other elemental runes. Yeah, I've got quite a few, 'cause mage. Though I've been doing more with ranged when I actually do combat. I'm curious to see how much runes like Natures, Cosmics, Astrals, the good ones to craft, the really profitable ones to craft. I'm curious to see how much those go up. Because basically the only way that blood runes come into the game is via drops. And same with death runes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if people actually want to start crafting them again.
Yeah. I mean, I'll do it. If I need money, I will absolutely rune craft. I'll put on a video and just clicky click.
I also need money, so.
Yeah. I mean, my 1.1 million nature runes are well documented from going to 99, so, yeah. and that was with skipping a level because I wasted 7 hours in the ZMI on bonus XP weekend. Yeah, that was painful.
Mhm.
That sucked. Never again.
The tribulations of 99RC the classic way.
That was a mistake. Like, oh my god. But yeah. So I'm looking forward to the Rune Goldberg machine almost as much as Prif, honestly. If it just makes my beloved rune crafting even more ridiculously profitable. Because people won't do it because it takes effort. And people don't like expending effort on things. This is like...
A fact.
Fact, yeah. So, but yeah, I think...
Fact, people are lazy.
Yeah, fact, people are lazy. I think that covers everything in the BTS. I could have sworn there's one more thing, though.
Super September?
No, wait, it's surprise.
Oh yeah, there's that Iron Man and Hardcore Iron Man crap.
Oh yeah, that.
Oh yeah.
To me,
So
I don't
that's
see,
a thing.
I don't see it as crap.
It is-
I see it as...
It
I
is
see it as proof of
worth mentioning that it's... Wait. Go, Lime, just go.
I see it as proof of concept that it's possible to make a quest replay feature.
It is. Oh my god. It really does look like that.
So that's why I'm so excited about it. Like, it shows that it can work.
Yeah. That
This is just like a thing that they're adding to accounts. Like, on account creation.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's what I think is really funny, because there have been a bunch of people that I knew that create accounts that are like Iron something, and then when you ask them why they made it, they're like, "Oh, I'm doing it for the Iron Man. I'm going to use this during the Iron Man. I'm going to use this." I'm like,
fail.
No, dumbass. Like,
Fail.
don't stop acting like you're wonderful and that I'm so terrible for not wanting to do the Iron Man. Well, you just made a useless account and you're training it on Legacy, or not Legacy. Sorry, 07. Like, stop.
Fail.
Stop it. I
Anyways.
can name a couple specific people, but no thank you.
But yeah.
But
yeah, Iron Man stops you from trading using the GE, staking in the duel arena, and gaining XP in multiplayer situations. Basically, you're on your own. You have to be entirely self-sufficient. Hardcore Iron Man means that if you die, you are perma-dead.
You've got one shot.
You only got one shot.
I think that Hardcore
Do not
Iron
miss
Man
that chance.
is like what people have been asking, like troll ask on forums forever. The make death permanent.
Yeah.
And Jack's like, here, let's do it.
Death. I wonder what Hardcore Iron Man, if you're on Hardcore Iron Man, if you can get different dialogue with Death. If he says something like, "Oh, if there's no saving you if you die," or something like that.
They'll probably pull some joke.
Your God can't help you now.
Yeah, your God can't help you now.
They might have something just like, "Oh
Your
wow,
God
you're
definitely
actually gonna
can't
die."
help now.
Yeah.
You know what would be a true test of teeth would be if the people who did Hardcore Iron Man when a new Grandmaster comes out.
That would be interesting.
But it's on account creation, so you have to actually survive like a while.
You have
Yes.
to survive
I
the
want to
giant
see the
spiders
first person to
and
get a
monsters.
quest cape with Hardcore Iron Man. I want to see that. And
it's
give
totally
them a
possible.
freaking medal. But yeah, it's also worth mentioning that there are expert skill capes coming out, which I think have
New
been,
Ninja Project.
they've been teasered on Twitter,
Twitter.
and they look amazing.
Yeah,
Wait, I haven't seen pictures of these.
Really?
they're good.
No, I haven't. Someone linked them.
Yeah, someone please link so I can put them in the video. But yeah, Mod Anna posted pictures of them, and they look awesome, and so much better than the current skill cape model. And
Oh, you mean, is it like that, what was it? Legend Arts, who came up with all those skill cape models?
I don't think so. This is different because
It's actually a thing.
and these capes represent 99s in groups of similar skills. So like, I don't know the exact groups. I don't think we know them yet, but something like mage and rune crafting, like those would go together, or
It looks like
combat skills.
Slayer and
Combat,
Engineering.
Yeah, there was one. Yeah, there was something about Dungeoneering and Slayer. There was a lot. It's actually really interesting.
Oh dang! Oh wow!
Yeah, so they're pretty cool. So everyone, you should max.
Lime, you have to watch. The BTS video has a few more.
But yeah, it looks like this.
What is that hood?
It looks like the it's a bucket helmet. It looks like a cooking pot on her head. So
What are they, Johnny Appleseed?
but it looks like. But looking at this Modana picture, and I'll be putting this up in the video. But it looks like we've got crafting, construction, cooking, fire making.
So you mean like the production skills?
Yeah, pretty much.
No, and the combat skills will be getting one too.
Yeah, it looks like it's probably all combat skills, all the production skills, all of it's like.
I'm guessing it's just going to be like how they grouped up the skills for spicy stews.
Possibly,
maybe.
Well, actually,
I don't.
It could be different.
I think it's more of what they'll be in the adventures log, though. But it's hard to say. That's something that we'll need to pay attention to, as I think that'll be lumped in
Guys,
with
look
another
at this image
update.
from like a while back, though. I just linked it in the chat.
What is this?
Those are the crystals for this project.
Oh. What?
Yeah, that was also on the
On Modana's account, yeah.
Twitter feed. Yeah.
Oh, those are. That's interesting. But yeah, so those are also coming out. The expert skill capes, they look great, and I'm looking forward to them. But I think that covers everything that we wanted to mention. Is there anything that I missed from any of this stuff that we needed to talk about?
Well, we missed Jacertes, but...
Yes, we did miss Jacertes, but that's because he's a Saraderp.
The grouping system.
We talked about the grouping system for about 2 seconds, because that's about all it deserves. I mean, yeah, it'll be useful. It'll be useful. It's been needed for like 5 years.
It's been needed since minigames have been abandoned.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, we forgot the skill reset for Pures.
No,
okay, that's it, guys.
Nope,
that's it.
we did not, in fact, forget that. Anyways,
because that's very dumb, and
we didn't forget that. I don't see any problem.
Pandering to Pures.
It's pandering.
Yeah, we do need to reset our quests. It was the skill reset for Pures that made you think of the quest reset, being able to redo quests. That was it, not the hardcore Iron Man.
Yeah.
Oh, it's both.
Okay, a little bit of both. Anyways, but yeah, so I guess we can mention the pure reset just in the context that it's proof of concept that it should let us redo quests. If they can reset their skills, we can reset our quests.
yes.
If you do that, we will be happy.
The fun bit is when they reset their skills, any quests get reset with them that required said skills.
Is that actually real?
Yeah.
Don't even know.
Yeah, so I guess I'll...
They get quest resets.
So it is
of
possible.
King
Oh my
Ransom?
god. Okay, well we need to yell at somebody about this, but
Okay, so is that the whole thing when Lime was tweeting, like, I think it was Pix, where they're like, but we need to test it first. Well, if it's already being done and implemented, I think it's been tested.
I would think so. Unless it's like the Ninja Teams updates, which do those get tested?
No.
Because seeing Calgarians, no. No hate on the Ninja Team, but please don't work on large-scale Slayer updates.
But yeah.
Don't listen to whoever's telling you to do that.
Yeah, anyways. Yeah, so I think that does cover everything. We'll stop before we get too ranty. But yeah, so I almost guarantee our next one's going to be after Prif. There's not much else big this month. The Rune Goldberg machine is interesting, but I don't think it warrants its own podcast. Maybe there will be some other huge lore drop that randomly happens within the month. Wouldn't put it past them, but I don't think so.
I mean, they are saying it is surprise September.
Yep.
So maybe just maybe we'll get lucky.
Who knows? But yeah, so
we'll have to stay up all night for that.
Our next one will definitely be after Prif, and we will have a lot to say about that. There might be multiple parts to it. But yes, stay tuned for that. What were you saying?
Never mind.
Yeah, stay tuned to that. Follow us on Twitter at Seercast. Subscribe to my channel on YouTube. You can find, at the end of the video, you can find the list of all of our Twitter names. There's also a list in the description of the Master Seer Twitter list put together by Lime. And yeah, I guess that covers everything. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Wait, what list?
What?
There's a Twitter list.
There's a Twitter list that Lime made. God damn it.
Like,
yes. Okay, we're done.
I
Okay,
think
bye.
you're late about that.
I may be in screen,
Bye.
though.